Welcome, and today I'm going to show you how to beat your first medium demon in Geometry Dash. Now here I have a level, a medium demon I got 90% on. It's a pretty tough, pretty easy medium demon. So, here is the deal. This game starts off really easy, and beating your first easy demon doesn't take too long. Maybe a week for some, maybe 2 weeks. It all depends. But the medium demon, right? The medium demon is where things start to take a turn, and things you start to really realize that this game can get difficult. Now, you will beat your medium demon. It might take 2 weeks, might take a week. It doesn't matter for most people. I took about a week or so. It's not that hard of a difficult to overcome, but it does take a little bit of time and effort. So last video I prioritized telling you to take checkpoints off and everything, auto checkpoints off and all that good stuff, and teaching some tricks. But today I'm going to focus on something called runs. Now runs will start to be important, especially in medium demons and beyond. Now I do a few runs in medium demons, but now at my skill level I don't really need to do runs in medium demons. I just learn the level, and by then I have enough skill that I can play it without dying to most parts pretty simply. So here in this part, you obviously see it starts off with a simple flying section, right? This flying section is not too hard and difficult to do, but it does seem a little dark, and there is an upside down portal that does come out of nowhere, so it is good to know. But nowhere in here are you going to place a checkpoint. It's easy enough that, and it's close enough to the beginning where this whole section is possible to do, and you'll do it enough to where you don't need to practice it. But we see how we transition into the portal here. That was a long enough ship section to count for almost 10% of the level, which is 1/10 the level. Doing 10% of the level is still a fine run. Now on medium demons, you don't want to do runs for less than 25%, because mostly the medium demons, there's not enough hard parts in the medium demon to really consider a good run, because you can most likely do that run almost all the time. It's normally the stress that makes medium demons harder, not the fact that they're actual skill level. When you're at the skill level, though, it does make it slightly harder. So I put a checkpoint there just as I'm first going for my first practice run of this level, because we're transitioning to new game mode, and you can tell it doesn't change right away back to a different game mode. It's not like a small game mode we use once or twice. So it is an important game mode. So now we're in like a next section, another 10% almost, basically. And now we're learning the light mechanic that they have, where you have to click the lights to keep being able to see the gameplay, right? So you could keep adding checkpoints like I just did there, but the real part of a level is you want to start from that cube part, and you want to learn that entire part until you get to the ball. So if we can do that all one shot, we go forward to the ball and place checkpoint. But if we can't, we play this part over and over again until we feel like we've kind of got it, right? We do it a few times. See, I died there, so now I'm gonna try to jump later at that blue orb. Complete. And nice. So now I know I got that part done. So now I'm on the ball part, and now that was another 10% chunk, right? And now I learned that mechanic. Now that was such a short part; it was even shorter than the other ones. That I don't think we need to put a checkpoint for the spider portal. You can if you like, but that was only about 30%, so we don't need to do that. We also keep continuing with the light mechanic here at this part. You have a light and a jump orb. And now we're into our next section. You can clearly see this is a new set. It's like 20%, or it's like 10% more into the way. So that's a good point to make a checkpoint to practice the level. Now, if there is a part in a run you're doing, or a checkpoint you're doing on your first practice run, or at all in a level, do not hesitate to put another checkpoint, even in the middle of a section. If that really particular jump or few inputs is really giving you a lot of trouble, then it is good to put a checkpoint right next to it to really just get that part skill-wise down, and then it's all about completing it all in one motion, in one 10%, one 20% chunk, one 50% chunk. But if it's really hard, a few couple inputs or a little 5% section that's really, really, really tough, and you're not getting past it no matter how many runs you do, how many times you try to beat a run, then it's important to go put a checkpoint right next to it, even if that's in the middle of a run, and then practice that section. Like, for instance, pretend this jump orb, getting these two was really hard and I can't do it. I'm like, I can't get anywhere with this run. I'm not going to make any progress on this run because I don't even know how to do that part. So I put a checkpoint there and learn it. So, oh, you hold. Got you. See, I obviously knew that. But if you didn't know that, then it's good to do that, so now you can actually start making progress on runs. Because if you try to stick to the whole run philosophy the entire time without stopping, you won't be able to get good runs unless you understand the gameplay. So if there is a choke point you need to practice, it is important to practice that without runs, and then practice with runs later. Now, this duel lasts for most of the rest of the level. I think, if I remember correctly, it has a big portion of the level. So you might have to split the duel up into chunks. First, there's this robot section here. You have a full hold, and a few taps, and then it leads into another robot. So there's two different robot sections. You can see how they're separated because it goes into single and then dual again. And it lasts about 7% for this first section. So it's okay to learn this section by itself before you transition to the second robot section. Now some people would, if a medium demon, you would just want to do one run on the robot section since it's so short. And then do the second robot section as well in that same run. But if you're feeling like you're really struggling with this level, especially if it's your first medium demon, this goes with any other level, you can just do that one section by itself, because you can classify them as two separate entities. Here's the thing about runs: you make runs what you make them. Runs are what you make of it, right? If you want to split a section in half or make two sections worth one run, you can do that. Right? No one's telling you not to. You could make that entire section from the first duel to the second duel, the second whole entire half of the duel at 66%. You can make that its own section, and then make this duel to the end a section. It's really up to you. I suggest playing the level in practice a few times, especially if it's a hard level for you, and get where you think you're dying the most at. Memorize this. Where are you dying the most at? What's giving you the most trouble? What parts are giving you the most trouble? It's the second half of the level giving you the most trouble. It's the first half of the level giving you the most trouble. What specific jumps? Is there a specific jump that's killing you over and over again? See, I don't understand that little portal there, so now I gotta go. Now after I practice that part a couple times, now I know how that works. This part looks very confusing, but the indicators do a good job at describing what's going on here. Right? I had to put a checkpoint there so I wouldn't die here and just have to restart the whole thing, because if I already know the first half of this run, but I can't get the second half of the run, and I just do this first half over and over again, it's useless, right? So now this last part, 20%, there's no point in putting any more checkpoints after this, because all this is just the same old portal transition gameplay here, right? This first half of it's pretty easy, and then the second half gets really fast, and it has a lot of shake in the screen. As you see, I'm just practicing this part up. See, it's a little rough there, so if I wanted to, I could put a checkpoint there and practice the faster part, because I already can do the first part well, which is a good idea, right? But also, since it's only 20%, it's not always a bad thing if you're not dying there. If it's not killing you so many times, it's not a bad thing to tough it out and complete the run. But it can make the journey longer for you. So it is. If I watch this, if I do this, put a checkpoint there, and then practice this part, right? I'm saving a lot of time. At this point, now that I'm getting the hang of it a little better, you always go the opposite direction, right? Or you can memorize. See, one, go up, stay down, and then you just kind of straight fly. And then obviously it's the top one because it's going to switch it. And that's the end.